Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, once again, we're going to be talking about our upcoming major blizzard there for the Rockies, Midwest, and some of the Great Plains as well. Now, before I get started with this awesome video, I'd like to ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather-related content, and also make sure to share this video with your friends, family, and social medias. For today's comment of the day, if you keep up with the NFL, Tom Brady is going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and also Phillip Rivers is going to the Indianapolis Colts. So the question of the day today is, which one of those two players do you think will do better with their new team? I want to know what you guys think if you do keep up with the NFL, so let me know. Alright, let's get right into things. So right now we're going to be looking at our storm track map here, and you can see that we're expecting a low pressure system to develop in Colorado and then make its way through into Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, Wisconsin, and then eventually up into Canada. And you can see this is going to lead to some snowfall here for a lot of these light blue regions, some but not all. And then we have a second layer here, and this is where we're expecting at this point to receive blizzard conditions. I'm expecting southeastern Wyoming, northeastern Colorado, and then a lot of there in especially western and northern Nebraska and extreme southern South Dakota. That's where I'm expecting the most blizzard conditions. Now, we're about to move on. We're going to look at your current watches, warnings, and advisories, our simulated radar. We're going to look at the modeled snowfall forecast, and then we're going to look at our official direct weather snowfall map here at the end of the video. So stay tuned for all of that. Alright, so here's your current watches, warnings, and advisories here. Across the Rockies and the Great Plains, we have a lot of warnings, watches, and advisories, so I'm just going to have to go by the color shade and just let you know what those mean. The more purplish shade of blue there, that's usually what I call that, that's going to be our winter weather advisories. You can see a lot of that in Utah, so as a reference of color, you can tell that's where our winter weather advisories are. In our pink colors, that's where we have winter storm warnings. In the more navy blue, I see a lot of that in northeastern Colorado. That's where we have a winter storm watch, and then all the orange areas is where we have a blizzard warning. You can see southeastern Wyoming, and then western Nebraska. I'm expecting northeastern Colorado to get some as well, potentially even a little bit of southern South Dakota, wouldn't be surprised. Now, we're going to be looking at our simulated radar now, and we're going to be using our Argent model. I think this model is an absolutely excellent model. It's probably the best short-range model that you can get access to. And this is going to be by this afternoon, maybe about 3 or 4 p.m. here. And we're going to be dealing with some snow for Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, even a bit of Utah and Colorado as well. You can see our low pressure system is located there in Colorado. There's also a lot of precipitation down there to the south for California, Arizona, New Mexico, and even down there for Mexico. And that's all going to be coming together here over the next few hours and as we head into Thursday and Friday as well. Now, we're about to move on to where we're actually going to move towards about 2 a.m. tonight, headed into Thursday, March 19th. It's going to be very exciting to take a look at that with you guys. Alright, so as you can see, most of the snowfall for this point by about 2 a.m. tonight, heading into Thursday, we're going to be seeing Utah, Colorado, and then Arizona and New Mexico receiving most of the snowfall by this point. Our low pressure is still at 1,001 millibars there for Colorado, indicating that we're not seeing too much strength at this point. Also notice the thunderstorms down there for Texas and Oklahoma. We're going to be dealing with a lot of supercells today. We have an enhanced risk for severe weather, and I'm contemplating going live later today. So if you live in those regions, be on the lookout for that, because I am thinking about potentially going live later this afternoon and this evening, at least for a little bit, to cover some of those storms as things start to get really, really nasty out there. Now let's move on, and this is going to be by about 8 a.m. on Thursday, again, March 19th, and you can see that a lot of the snow has made its way into Wyoming, and we're seeing a lot of that up there for Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Minnesota. Mostly snow showers or lighter snow up there. Our heaviest snow is still for Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, and Colorado by this point, but we do have a 999 millibar low pressure system for southeastern Colorado, so it is intensifying. Let's go ahead and move on towards later in that afternoon, maybe about 1 to 3 p.m. sometime in that time frame. And we can see the heaviest of the snow is now for Colorado, in through Wyoming and Nebraska. And this is likely when we would be seeing some blizzard conditions here, as we have those very heavy snowfall being indicated by the very deep blues. And we're going to switch to our wind real quick here as well. Notice those greens and yellows. That's where we're seeing anywhere from 20 to 40 knot winds, so definitely sufficient for blizzard conditions, where we are seeing that heavier snowfall falling for northeastern Colorado, southeastern Wyoming, and then in through western Nebraska. Notice we have a 994 millibar low pressure system, so still intensifying by this point. It is located in western Kansas, and it's going to be only heading further and further northeast as we move along. Now we're about to move on towards about 8 p.m. that night, where we're going to start to see the snow really start to intensify here. Alright, so as you can see, we have a 998 millibar low pressure system, so not quite as intense, but it is for central Kansas. This is going to be by about 8 p.m. like I said before. We have lighter snowfall still going on for Utah, Wyoming, and then the moderate to heavy snowfall is still around for northeastern Colorado, and then in through portions of central and northeastern Nebraska, those purplish colors indicating the even heavier areas of snowfall. And then again, let's look at that wind, and we can see almost some oranges showing up. That's where we're probably at about 35 to 40 knot winds there for central Nebraska. Definitely blizzard conditions being indicated by this model. Very, very extreme situation that this model is calling for. Let's go ahead and move on, and this is going to be by about 11 p.m. on Thursday night heading into Friday, March 20th. And we can see that we do have a low pressure system now located near the upper peninsula of Michigan. And then we have snowfall still going on for a bit of Colorado, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, and Minnesota by this point. But our low pressure system has done its transfer where it's now over the Great Lakes. And then as we head towards, I would say maybe about 4 or 5 a.m., you can see our low pressure system is now located in Canada, and we are only seeing a minimal amount of snow still for Iowa, Wisconsin, and the upper peninsula of Michigan, but it is basically all said and done by this point. All right, now we're about to get into our modeled snowfall forecast here, and then our official snowfall forecast from Direct Weather, and then we will finally get into our comment of the day from yesterday's video. Alright, so as you can see here, first things first, we're going to be looking at the model that we just took a look at, and this is the Argent Model. In our blue colors, that's where we're looking at anywhere from a dusting to 3 inches of snow. In the purples, that's where we're looking at 3 to 6 inches of snow. In the pink colors, I see a lot of that for Nebraska and Colorado, as well as Utah, Arizona, and New Mexico. That's where we're looking at 6 to 12 inches of snow, and you see some of those green shades for the higher elevation areas there in the southern Rockies and the Four Corner states. That's where we're looking at 12 to 24 inches of snow being possible within some of those Rocky Mountain high elevation regions. Now let's move on to the GFS. Again, a dusting to 3 inches in the blue, 3 to 6 inches in the purple, 6 to 12 inches in the pink, and 12 to 24 inches in the green. And I'm seeing a lot more of those greens for Colorado on this model, and a lot less of the snowfall going on for the Great Plains and through the upper Midwest. So still a little bit of uncertainty. Again, stay tuned for our official snowfall forecast here at the end of this video, which is going to tell a lot more about this storm and my current thoughts for this storm. Here's your NAM 12KM model, which is an important model to be using because it's another high resolution model. So we're seeing a lot of the greens there for Colorado as well in this model, as well as for Utah, down there for Arizona as well. And a lot of those pinks going on for even Nebraska, and I'm seeing some of that for the upper peninsula of Michigan as well, which is another area where we could potentially see a lot of snowfall. But notice the purple colors in between Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, South Dakota, even Wisconsin. That's all areas where we're seeing scattered 3 to 6 inch amounts of snow. So don't be surprised if a lot of those regions do see the higher end snowfall amounts like 3 to 6 inches of snow being possible. Now let's move on to our official snowfall forecast here from Direct Weather. Anywhere in this white region, we're expecting a dusting to 3 inches of snow. You can see it takes up a lot of our viewing region here. Then, as we move on to this lighter shade of blue, we have a lot of different regions for this one. This is our 3 to 6 inch region. We have a lot of it for the Rockies and in through some of the Great Plains. We even see some up there kind of isolated from the rest for North Dakota. We see some of that for Wisconsin. A bit of that makes its way into Minnesota as well, including Minneapolis. We see the upper peninsula of Michigan, the very northern portion, seeing 3 to 6 inches of snow, and even northern Minnesota there. Let's take a look at our 6 to 10 inch region. We have 2 of these actually, one there for the upper peninsula of Michigan, and then one for the Rockies there, where we're expecting widespread 6 to 10 inches of snow based on elevation mostly. Then here's our 10 to 15 inch amounts. We have one of those for, again, the upper peninsula of Michigan, and then a lot of those for the higher elevations down there in the Rockies, especially Colorado and Wyoming, where we're expecting our blizzard conditions. If you do take notice, this does include Denver here. And then we have 15 to 20 inches expected in all of these purple regions here for the Rockies. And again, this includes Denver. So we are expecting the potential for 15 to 20 inch amounts there for Denver, Colorado. Now, for your comment of the day, I asked you guys, what is the most comfortable room temperature? I know that's a hotly debated one, and this was my favorite one, and I agreed with this one the most. This one's from Kenneth Newtbar. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. He said 72 in the day, 68 at night for sleeping, and I couldn't agree more. I love being kind of cold when I'm trying to sleep, just so I have to use the blanket. I don't know if anybody else experiences that, but that's how I've always felt about it. Let me know if you agree with that temperature or indoor temperature opinion there. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends, family, and social medias, and I will see you guys in the next video.